is this thing? Is this a foam roller? How do I use it? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Heather, and that is literally the most common question I always get asked is, what is this and how do I use it? So today we're going to go through a quick tutorial on just how to really use that foam roller and how to really use it to break down the tissue. We're going to go through some of the main areas that are most commonly irritated and inflamed and why we would want to use that roller. And like always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And if you are a current subscriber, I really do hope that you're loving the material that has been given on this channel so far. So let's go through the foam roller. First off, you can see my foam roller is pretty long. I actually like the 36-inch roller, and the black one is a pretty well densed one. There are different versions of rollers with knobs on it. You'll see ones with the hollow center. You know, that's all about your comfort in terms of the amount of pressure that you can handle. I like this one for all intents and purposes because it just does the job right. So now, when we look at breaking down the tissue, it's very important that we're actually hitting the muscle area, really working out that tissue so we're seeing the most benefit and we're not just kind of rolling around, not sure if we're doing anything correctly. So let's go through some of the main basic areas that you want to roll. Let's start with your mid-back. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with your thoracic spine. And if you're looking for more ways to kind of dig out areas in your thoracic spine, do check out my other video on good arm swing, where I take a look a little further at your thoracic spine, your shoulder blades, and so forth on how to really kind of do some great stuff there to help in that area. So first thing, we're going to come down and we're going to put the roller so it's this way. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit into our shoulder region. And on the diagram, you're going to see where the scaps are. We're going to go to that very top part of our scapula, and then we're going to come down a little bit more towards where the last rib is, and we're just going to roll up and down about 10 times on that area. So here I go. I'm coming down onto the ground. I like to cross my arms over the chest simply because what happens is then my scapula can move off to the side, and I can really get into the tissue. If you want to, you could lean into one side, exposing a little bit more of the subscapularis muscle, getting into the rhomboids, the mid-traps, the mid-traps and the lower traps on one side, and then you can go over onto the other side as well. Now, if you are one of my lifter friends, you're going to want to also address your lat and your teres, because a lot of the movement patterns you would do in lifting require good scapular range of motion. So what we're going to do there is we're going to line our side. Nobody likes this one because it is always uncomfortable. And we're going to make a knife edge with our hand. We're going to go ahead and take one foot, put it over the other. And as I lay back onto my shoulder blade, I can start to feel a tender point. You may feel some numbness, tingling in the fingertips. That's just because your axial nerve's getting a little bit compressed. Totally fine. It will go away once you're done rolling, so don't get nervous on me. So if you're also one of my lacrosse, baseball players, tennis players, any sporting event that requires overhead motion, this is a great technique here to, again, loosen up that scapular area. But you're going to go ahead and you're essentially trying to lift your hips off the ground and trying to really dig out that lat teres area along that side. And again, it is going to feel a little bit more uncomfortable. So again, we've done our thoracic spine. Now we've just gone ahead and addressed our lat and our teres a little bit off the shoulder blade. Now we're going to go into our low back. So again, we're going to sit in front of our roller, and right where our low back is, right where that curvature is, we're going to place the roller just in that little zone. From here, we're going to use our forearms to prop our butt up off the floor. Then again, cross your arms over the chest. And I'm just rocking up and down in that lumbar spine, essentially hitting right from the 12th rib, right down to where you would see those dimples, which is your SI joint, okay? And again, we're just gonna roll about 10 times. If I lean into one side, I may start to feel more of my paraspinal muscle on that one side. Again, trying to get deeper into that QL. And again, we can come over onto the other side as well. The next big one is actually the piriformis. So we're going to sit right on top of that roller. Now what we're going to do is, for the demonstrations of the video, I'm going to show you with my right leg. We're going to I'm going to go ahead and place my left heel into the floor. I'm going to take my right leg, make that figure 4 position. My right hand goes on the floor. I'm going to add a little bit of pressure with my left hand to the inside of the knee, kind of going down towards the ground. And now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to sit on that right butt cheek. Right off the bat, if your piriformis is really tight, you're going to feel it, okay? And you're going to feel it, and it's going to feel like a little area, but it's going to feel good to just kind of rock around on that little spot right there. For making sure that it has kind of flow in, continuous flow, hit the other side. Then from there, we're going to go up into the TFL and into the IT band. So now we're going to work this tissue along the side of the leg, where for a lot of runners complain about that knee pain, the tightness in the hip. Again, if you're a lifter, you might be experiencing some tightness too. Again, TFL, cyclists. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down now onto our side of our body. We're going to place one foot over the other. I'm sitting right on top of my hip bone, right where that ball and socket is. I like to have both hands on the floor. I like to, you can see my chest is actually a little bit more lined up with the floor, because now, like Spider-Man, I'm going to go ahead, walk my arms all the way out, and then I'm going to come all the way back. And again, I've lifted my lower leg off the floor so I can really allow gravity to push into that area. Now from there, once you've done your IT band, simply again, for purposes of flow, you can come, kneel on the roller, and you'll see this one in my shin splints video. You're going to go ahead, put the shins right on the roller. I like to actually have my knees go out just a wee bit to put a little bit more tension on that area. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to gently rock kind of forward and back, hitting my shins, okay? Now, from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to address our calves. Now, this would be one that you want to single out a little bit more. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to place my left leg out on the roller. If your calves are really tight and you want to just do both, you could lift up your body weight and just hit it like this. For a lot of us, we're not going to feel that, but if we go ahead and stack our feet, pulling the toes towards you, now if I lift my body up, I can really get into that calf. I'm going ahead and I'm creating some tension in that calf by pulling the toes towards me, but then if I go onto the outside, I can get into that tibialis posterior, I can start to get into those perineals, and if I come onto the inside, I can get into that soleus a little bit as well. Now the very final one that we can do is we can come up and we can hit our hamstrings. Now a lot of people, this one is actually not as bad. It's not a tender point. A lot of times our hamstrings are not super overly tight, plus also too, we can do some nice, really strong stretches for the hamstring. Like always guys, this is Dr. Heather. This was just a simple little tutorial for you guys. Hope you did like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And if you found this video of help and just kind of further understanding how to use a foam roller, please do give it a like. All right, everyone, have a great day.